Hi, welcome to Gasgoo Talk. Today, we're very glad to have Mr. Harold Goddijn, Chief Executive Officer of TomTom, as our guest. TomTom's journey began in 1991, when four like-minded entrepreneurs came together with a vision, making digital navigation accessible to everyone. After 3 decades of continuous innovation and billions of recorded driving miles, TomTom has grown into a global leader in location technology. As an independent expert, its technology spans high-precision mapping, digital cockpit solutions, and real-time traffic data services. TomTom is committed to breaking barriers in real-time mapping, working closely with global customers and partners to build the world's largest and most comprehensive location database, paving the way for the future of mobility. Welcome to Shanghai. Can you give us a brief introduction about TomTom and what's the key function it has in the automotive sector?
Sure, TomTom is a location technology company. We were established more than 30 years ago in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. And our role in life is to map the world in digital maps. And put all sorts of information on top of that map so our customers can use that data to enable their applications, improve their service, reduce cost. There's all sorts of applications where you will find our maps that have been so carefully created.
Yes. Actually, last evening, I played with my kids, use a global map. It's really big.
Yes.
How can you achieve that?
Well, so the world of mapping has changed dramatically, of course. And we're doing it for more than 30 years, as I said, and in the beginning it was really hard. There were no tools, there was no unified way of collecting information and storing that information. Computer power was at its infancy. But nevertheless, we started to work on building detailed maps mostly for navigation purposes. I think the navigation mapping world started a little bit in Japan, and then we saw what was happening in Europe, and we wanted to create that industry for Europe and later for the world. And it took a lot of people, thousands of people, to map the world and build that information. Now, in the last 5 years, I would say, a lot has changed. So there's a lot more information available. There's a lot more open data. There's a lot more collaboration. We get a lot of data from vehicles themselves and from mobile phones, and from our communities and our customers. And we see our role more and more of collecting and harnessing and then managing that information so our customers get reliable data. It's not just on the data side that things have changed dramatically, but also on the compute side. We have seen enormous progress in cloud computing capabilities. And recently, of course, we see AI again having a significant impact on how we do things and how we can create those maps in a cost-effective way.
For AI, specifically, what kind of changes it brings to either the data connecting or analysis of the map?
Well, we see AI applications throughout our business in different areas. We see it in marketing and sales. We see it in coding, in creating programs. But I think most significantly, we can do with AI in map production now things that were not possible in the past. And that makes it possible and economically viable to start creating maps at a much higher level of detail than we've ever seen before. And we use AI to do that. So we bring in sources from multiple sites and we combine those sources using AI and pattern recognition to create reliable maps. There's a lot of signals coming to our computers, and then we use AI and other technologies to create data out of that, and that data with a high degree of reliability.
Yeah. As an end user, I used to drive a car rely on the paper map,
Yes.
then the mobile phone.
Yes.
Then I talk to my car where I want to go.
Yeah.
That means with the intelligent driving developed so fast, especially in China, I think there is a lot of opportunity. There are a lot of opportunity has appeared to a company like TomTom, right?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And the demand is going up all the time. But also the applications are wider and deeper than ever before. There is enormous progress in self-driving technology. So there's a big demand for data to make that safe and secure. There is electrical vehicle charging, of course, which is a hot debated topic in China, but also in the rest of the world.
Yes.
Where can I go? Can I get there? Do I have to wait? Is the charging station suitable for my car? How long do I need to stay there? All those, how do I pay? All those questions can be answered with help of our technology. So that's really exciting. And then finally, to operate all that, of course, we use AI to make those complex instructions, which are, we demanding more and more from our vehicles, and we help translate that into answers and services that are easy to use, relaxed and reliable.
Yes, as we just discussed that there is a trend. Many high-tech companies actually they will leverage the sensor's ability, LiDAR's ability, instead of fully relied on the HD. How do you perceive that trend?
Yeah. So I think in the early days of self-driving technology, when we were still all kind of figuring out how it all worked, I think car makers said, well, we need a very detailed, a very accurate map, to centimeter precision, because we're going to use that map to put a car on the road, and it's very important, and it needs to be very reliable and very accurate. Now I think the shift it's changing. So first of all, the cameras and the LiDARs are getting more capable, so more and more is done by those sensors, and the role of the map is changing as well as a result of that. So the ability to see around a corner, to do path planning, to have all sorts of information as an additional sensor to the self-driving technology is where the maps are coming in now. And the demands are different types of information, but most importantly, car makers now want to have it in real time.
Yes.
When something is changing, they don't want to wait for a year for that change in the map to show up. They want to see it within minutes, and that's the key change now that we're seeing. So we see car makers wanting the information to come much quicker and much more accurate, but the absolute accuracy of exactly the centimeter precision, that's less important than it used to be. But the accuracy and the freshness of the data, that in itself is now kind of the new frontier of self-driving and mapping data for self-driving cars. And we are privileged to have a good understanding of how to do that. We are absolute market leader in traffic information, so we have hundreds of millions of devices that are producing data that we use to create an accurate picture of traffic information, road closures, hazards, dangers on the road, wildfires, everything that is impacting traffic.
Yes.
We have built a very strong position and a very good product and technology base, and we're extending that now to the self-driving use case.
Besides the trend you just mentioned, any other mega trends will happen in the mapping and the navigation positioning field? Yeah,
so I think the big trends are on the technology side, how we build them and how we use AI and all that information and create accurate maps. And the demand is going for faster, better, more detail, more accuracy. So it's a big technology race because the amount of, we are constrained by the amount of money that customers are prepared to pay. You know, they want good information, but it also needs to be cost effective.
Yes.
And within those boundaries, we need to use technology as effectively as we can to create the products that our customers want today and tomorrow.
The map accuracy really matters, right?
Yes.
For TomTom, what initiatives you have taken to continuously enhance the accuracy of the map?
Yeah, in order to facilitate those changes and that quest for accuracy and that real-time map, we've done a couple of things to meet those challenges. We have completely redesigned our whole map-making platform with a focus on speed, transaction speed. So we now build maps continuously. In the olden days, we used to publish a map once a quarter or once a month, and maybe once a week. And now we do it continuously. So our mapping products are, you know, if I look at my map now, it's different from what the map looked 2 minutes ago.
Okay, it's real time, right?
It's real time. That does not mean that everything that's happening in the world is reflected real time, but as soon as we see something, we put it through our system, it comes out at the other end as a change in our map data. So that's a continuous process that we have been doing now. The other thing, also important, is that we realize the world is such a big place, we need to work together as an industry. And the mapping ecosystems have always been kind of closed environments. You had Google Map or TomTom Map or Here Map, and those maps could not talk to each other. And we didn't think that was the right approach. So we have created a foundation together with Microsoft and AWS and Meta. So 4 founding members where we say we need to have a much better ability to exchange information. So we've created a road network and stable identifiers, and that will help third parties, any company, to add their own data to the map in a very efficient way. So in that way we create an ecosystem of map content producers and map makers that can collaborate to make the maps of tomorrow.
So together you are mapping the globe.
That's exactly right. And we know that no single company in the world can do it on their own, matter how much money and how many people you have. It's just there's too much happening, there's too much data. So we better create a foundation on which the world can work together to bring all that location data together. And we've created that through that Overture Foundation.
Okay.
And that is an important pillar philosophically, but also providing to the world a mechanism to exchange information, location information, in a cost-effective way. And I think that's an important initiative. And we can see already the advances coming from that collaboration. We work together for all sorts of data types. And you can see that is reflected in our mapping products, which get better all the time as a result of that collaboration.
But first of all, you should be open, right?
We are open. We are working together with partners everywhere, wherever we can, wherever it makes sense. And that's on the production side, but also on the sales and implementation side. We have important partners here in China and across the world that help us and our clients to use our technologies in a cost-effective way.
Okay. It's really important to have friends globally, worldwide. So ecosystem play a really important role to win the future, right?
Yes.
Can you introduce TomTom's ecosystem?
Yeah, so first of all, we work very closely with our customers, and our customers provide us with a lot of data. And that is an invaluable loop. And the more we work together with customers, the better our products are getting, because we get more data. So that's super important. We have opened up to the world with an open reference system to collect data from all sorts of sources. So that's how we're working together. We work together with end users. We ask them to comment on our map, suggest changes, improvements. And we're working together with partners for systems integration and application development. And here in China, we are very privileged to work with a number of outstanding companies, very reputable companies who help us and the end user to create those experiences and work closely together. So we're working with Huawei, which is a very important partnership for us, and Petal maps. We're working with MX Navi, who's helping to integrate software with our customers. So those partnerships are really important and gives us a good understanding of the local requirements and help us to, get products that are right for purpose, cost effective, and of high quality.
When we see the ecosystem building, it differs in different countries, right? You build different ecosystem in different countries, or not so much?
Yeah, it also depends on the use case in the industry we're working in. We of course, automotive is super important for us, but we're also working in other areas where those collaborations are important, but where the needs are slightly different. So we have a broad network of partners, distributors, software companies, integrators, but also suppliers for data to help us to create those products and meet local market requirements. So partnering for us is second nature. That is, we understand that our role and where we're sitting in that ecosystem, and we also understand that we need those partnerships in order to be successful.
Yes, in Chinese there is a saying, 朋友多了路好走. It means that.
What does that mean?
It means that if you have, the more friends you have, the easier you can go further.
Yeah. No, I understand that, and I think that's absolutely true. And those friendships, you need to earn them, and you need to build them, and you need to create trust. Yes. And we do that over years and years and years. We nurture those partnerships. Being a reliable, trusted friend in that ecosystem is foundational to how we see the world and how we can operate.
Yeah, that's one of your core competitiveness, right?
It is, because it's such a vast task that we need to do. Mapping the world is enormous.
Unbelievable job.
It's a huge job.
Yes.
And we can only, and it's so big that we can only think of achieving that by working very closely with our trusted friends and partners throughout the ecosystem.
Yes. Besides the ecosystem, any core capabilities you want to highlight?
Well, so the as I said, the world is shifting. TomTom is changing as a result of that as well. So we saw our work in the early days as creating the content and digitizing that content. Now we see ourselves more and more as aggregators of existing data and bringing that together in a cost-efficient way, using all sorts of new technologies where AI is an important one. So there is so much information, and the goal is now more to standardize that information and harmonize that information and publish it and harness it in a good way, rather than creating the original content, which was our original challenge.
Yes,
is created that map. Now it's building on all sorts of data that's available, including our own. Obviously, there's still an enormous amount of data we create ourselves, but I would say that more and more of what we are doing is really assimilating, taking it all in, processing it, and publish that information in a way where customers can use it.
Yeah. Now we are on the Shanghai Auto Show 2025.
Yeah.
What kind of innovation and services you showcase here?
Well, first of all, we're here to learn as much as to explain what we are doing. So we are visiting our customers, we're looking at the car launches. We're usually impressed with the progress that has been made in the last years, but again, this year we see a significant step up in quality and finishes and capabilities and the overall package of what the Chinese car industry can produce is very impressive, very competitive. We're learning here how those new technologies are being brought to light, and we're here to explain what we are doing in order to help our Chinese customers and partners to bring their cars to the rest of the world. So we're not so much active for China domestic, that's a different market, but everything that has to do with export, we can help. We can help with location technology, understanding local rules, understanding local culture, understanding concepts around HMI and usability, local regulation, local customs. So it's not just technology, but we can also help in sharing information, explaining how to get ready for domestic market conditions, which are often different from country to country.
Yeah.
There's legislation, privacy, GDPR rules. We have decades of experience in working there, and we're very keen to help our Chinese partners to capitalize on that knowledge and make the export introduction to new markets as smooth as possible, take out risk wherever we can, and help adjusting the experience to local market conditions and local expectations.
There is a saying that it's not easy to deal with Chinese local OEMs because of the cost efficiency, flexible, speed, high quality, continuous innovation.
Yeah.
How can you keep up with that?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. If we look at how fast the Chinese market is moving and the demands on partners are intense, and we realize that, and we're trying to respond with competitive pricing, competitive products, but also with local partners to support us in our endeavor. And we realize that it's not always possible for a large corporation in a different continent, a different time zone, to respond, meet those high quality standards. So for us, it's also super important to work with local Chinese companies in order to bridge those things and provide the service and the quality that are, together with our partners, that our Chinese car makers are expecting from a company like TomTom.
Yes. We know the ecosystem in China is quite different.
Yeah.
So when the Chinese OEM go outside of China, want to be successful, what's a priority they should focus on from your perspective?
Yeah, so, of course it's a journey, and as a car maker you need to make important choices in how you, with pricing, how you want to position yourself, whether you go direct or through dealership, and all those questions are not easy. And mistakes will be made, but we've also seen that the Chinese companies work very hard, learn very quickly, adapt very fast. So it will not be a straight line, it will be a more wobbly road, I think. But I have every confidence that Chinese car makers will be successful in Europe, in Latin America, in other parts of the world. And TomTom is there to help, absolutely, to assist wherever we can in making those, localize those products to the needs of local markets.
Choosing the right partner.
Choosing the right partner is important.
It's important.
Yeah.
You come to China almost every year.
Yes.
What impressed you most when you come here?
So there's a couple of things. I think the overall progress China has made in the last 2 decades since I traveled here is incredible. The speed is by which things are done is amazing. But I think I'm most impressed with the people. Their ability to learn, to work hard, to go deep and try things out and move forward at a very high speed is very admirable.
Yeah.
I think that's a winning strategy.
That's a culture.
A winning culture.
Winning culture. Yes, that's right. How will you evaluate the value potential of China markets in the future decades?
You know, there's no doubt in my mind that the Chinese car makers and other companies will be successful on the world. We also know there's a lot going on the political side. It's not entirely clear how that will pan out and where that will take us. But I think there may be some bumps in the road. We're seeing that now. But I think the longer term trends are quite clear. There's an important role for China and Chinese companies to play in the global economy. And companies like TomTom are keen to partner and help wherever we can.
Anything you want to say to your China customers and potential partners?
Yeah, so we're reaching out. We're relatively, so the Chinese export market is relatively new. We are building friendships here, we're building relationships, we're building partnerships here. We have been doing that for a long time across the globe, and we know how to nurture those partnerships and grow those friendships over time. And we are here to help, so reach out, link up, and see what we can do together.
Okay. What's your expectation for TomTom in future decades?
Yeah, it's an important question, and you know, we can see the mega trends in terms of what's needed in location. But we also see that business models are changing, technology is changing rapidly. So it's an interesting time to be around and adapt and learn from what's happening. I don't think it's easy for any technology to look 10 years ahead because the changes are so
now it's difficult.
So dramatic, and some things go very fast. Other trends are slower, but more foundational. So you can definitely see when we look back, it's easier to understand what happened than to look forward. But what we have seen looking back, of course, is very important. Standardization, cloud compute, AI, all sorts of foundational technologies that are changing the way companies and people collaborate. How it's exactly going to pan out is everybody's guess, I think. But it's very exciting, and there's a lot to do, a lot to learn. We're busy. We're running around. We're working really hard to meet our customer expectations. So it's an interesting time to be around.
As one of the founder of TomTom, as an entrepreneur, looking at the journey from day one till today, what makes TomTom outstanding?
Well, so we've always we're a very innovative company. We did not invent car navigation, but we made car navigation a popular product. We sold more than 100 million navigation devices. And when the world started to change with the iPhone and free maps and free navigation, we've changed dramatically in our market strategy, in our product strategy. So our ability to change and pivot and adapt is critically important. We have learned, and Darwin learned that before us, that it's not the strongest that are surviving, but it are the companies that adapt most adaptable that are surviving. And I think we are, as a team and a TomTom family of employees, used to that change and adapt and look at opportunities where they arise, and still manage to nurture our culture, our partnerships, and be that reliable partner that the world is relying on, those partnerships and collaboration. So we have a keen eye for innovation, a keen eye for technology and application, ability to learn, the ability to change, and I think that is the general thread throughout our history.
Wow, very impressive.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
You.
Wonderful.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you very
Me
much.
too.